You are too cautious for greatness. Those words dropped in my spirit a couple of days back while I was meditating. And at that moment, I knew that it was important that I reminded myself and probably someone out there that it is time to take up your cross and begin to forge ahead. It's time to stop being too careful. If you remain afraid of what the future brings, if you remain scared of what might come if you take a leap of faith and follow your dreams, then I'm sorry, you may never attain those dreams. A lot of people that we talk about today, we only talk about them because they were bold enough to face their fears and courageous enough to achieve that thing that they have set their hearts upon to achieve. But many of us today are so concerned about survival that we have become completely timid when it comes to taking action in alignment with what we have always known in our hearts that we're supposed to be doing. And if you do not do that, nobody will remember your name. Mark my words. If you're like me and you're all about adding value to humanity and being remembered for what you achieve or what you get to do, then trust me, these words will matter to you. Stop being too cautious. Stop being too careful about going out and pursuing after that you've always wanted to do. Look, the universe entrusted you with the dreams simply because it knows that you have it in you to achieve it. But if you're always thinking about survival, you're always thinking of how am I going to feed, how am I going to clothe, how am I going to live my life the way I've always lived it, how will people perceive me, then I'm sorry, you may never attain that height. If people like Martin Luther King was too scared about how he would be perceived or what would become of him, we probably would still be talking about segregation in America today. If the likes of Rosa Parks was not bold enough to do what she did, who knows? The story might have been different now. Or probably someone else would have been bold enough to do it and we'll be talking about that person. So you see, nobody who was courageous enough to stand against the grain is not remembered for what they did. Be it good or bad, but I hope yours will be positive. It is important that we begin to note that being careful is not what life is about. Even Jesus Christ, if he had been careful, he probably would not have spoken up against the Pharisees and Sadducees of his time. And that's for you that are religious. You cannot be too careful for your dreams. If that dream does not keep you up at night and make you shudder and wonder what the future holds, then I'm sorry, it's not a dream, it's just a thought you have in your mind. Whatever thing you are thinking about doing that does not make you wonder how people will perceive you and does not sound weird and delusional to other people, it's probably not big enough. I think you should go back to the drawing table and reconsider it. We all have it in us to be great people. That is why we have the kind of minds and the kinds of brains and intuition that we have in us, and everybody has it to a large extent. So why not make use of yours and forge ahead? Do not let fear cripple you and keep you in that same spot you have been for years. You have been doing the same thing, doing the same 9 to 5 for 10, 20, 30 years, no difference. All you do is live from paycheck to paycheck, and you do not think that something is wrong with that? You have remained in a relationship, in a marriage, in a situation that has added little or no value to you. It has drained you over and over and over again, and you actually think there's nothing wrong. If you do not stand up for yourself, no one will. And standing up for yourself a lot of times entails courage, boldness to stand up against the crowd. Let's bring it home to people like Queen Amina of Zauzau. We are talking about her today, and Nigerians are proud of her, east, west, north, and south, because of her courage to stand and lead men to war. I'm pretty sure in her time, it was a weird thing to do for a woman to boldly say she wanted to lead an army of men largely. It would have been difficult, but she stood her ground, and today we talk about her in good lights. There are so many examples for us to take from, but it's almost as if we have been conditioned to not see these examples, and so we just live life almost on autopilot. You wake up, you do the same thing, the same routine every day, until one day you wake up, you are 80, 90, 100, and you can barely do anything. How shameful would it be for you to have so many dreams and die with those dreams? You cannot afford to keep being too fearful. A lot of us talk about stepping out of your comfort zone. It has almost become a cliche now. Everybody talks about it, but how many people actually are bold enough to step out of their comfort zones? Let's face it, are you? Truthfully, ask yourself that question. Am I bold enough to do it? It takes a mind that is willing to give up everything for that dream that they have, to be able to step out of their comfort zones, to launch out in faith and let the universe catch them if they fall. And that is the beauty of living. I love this quote by the essayist and novelist Anna Isnin. She said, "Life shrinks and expands in proportion to one's courage." How apt is that? Your life will either shrink or expand in accordance or in proportion to how courageous you are to live an authentic and visionary life. So, what is your plan for yourself? Are you willing to keep doing the same thing over and over and over and not take those risks and be remembered for nothing? Nah, I don't think so. You should be aiming at becoming a maverick, one that is willing to do things differently, an outlier, a change maker, a pace setter, a visionary. That is what you and I should be aiming at becoming. And I can only hope and pray that you are encouraged today to begin to look at things from a different perspective, to begin to consider the option of taking life by the horns and doing that you've always dreamt of doing. I know you can. All it takes is for you to stop being too careful and too cautious about what tomorrow brings. And trust me, you will thank your stars that you were bold enough to do it with courage. I hope you found value in today's talk about not being too cautious for greatness. And I sincerely hope that you will begin to reconsider your options. My name is Annabel Kemi. If you haven't yet, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified whenever a new episode of the Other Side podcast is available. I love you, and I'll see you on the side of greatness. In the meantime, please stop being too careful. Stop being too cautious for greatness. See you next time.